Hello everybody, welcome back to our channel and welcome back to another video. Today is July 14th and I want to share with you our week 2 budget update. So if you're just joining our channel, hey y'all, how y'all doing? My name's Shakima. I'm a single mom of 4. I have 2 girls, 2 boys, 1 fur dog, and we just inherited a grandma. We are living our very best Dave Ramsey life, doing the zero-based budget. We out here in these budgeting streets, you guys, trying to make our ends meet. So for those of you that are new to my channel, you may be interested in knowing that I work 10 months per year. I'm a 10-month employee. I work in the school system. I do not get paid in June or July, but I do set aside money every month of the 10 months that I work, and I have an account called a summer share account. So my bank, which is a credit union, takes out a specific amount of money, and then they dump that money into my account in June and July. They have one lump sum that they divide in 2 parts. I set that up with my bank, and then in June they plop in $1,965, and in July they plop in $1,965. That's based off of $393 a month that I have them take out of my check. I may be able to up that amount since I'm now debt free and do a little bit more so that next summer I could potentially have a little bit more money. But right now, that's what I'm doing. So I'm going to update you on week number 2, how the kids and I did on spending. Since I did last week's update, we have got another kids deposit. So this number right here, $649.38, is 3 kids deposits. Now remember, if you saw my first July 1st budget update or budget for the month of July, $216 of this number actually is for the month of June. The only reason it appears here is because it didn't populate into my account until July 1st. So I just put it into this number. This should be $432 and some change, because that $216 was for June. But in all full disclosure, I just dumped it in because, like I said, it did populate July 1st. So that gives us kids deposits of $649.38. So far, I have not received any Google AdSense. I have not received any travel reimbursements, but I am going on a business trip. So I will hope to have some travel reimbursements for meals for August. Unexpected gifts, money, blessing, funds transfer. So my aunt sent me $150 to help take care of some utilities and water bill expense with my mom staying here. So that gives me a total of $2,764.38 that I have to budget for. Now notice the difference in the budgeted amount and the actual amount is just about a little bit under $700. So $2,085 to $2,764, which is the equivalent of the kids' deposits here and the $30 that I didn't count here. So let's go to week 2 expenses and talk a little bit about what we spent this week. So for our living expenses, this is where we have our mortgage, electric, water, heating, telephone, internet, handy-mandy, homeowners, and all of that. The only expense we had was our cell phone bill, which was $91.69, and that was out of those regular normal living expenses. Now here where it says repairs and handy-mandy, in week 3 there'll be some expenses there because I have a leaking toilet, a toilet that's running, and she's going to come and repair that for me. And I also need to replace my mailbox, which my neighbor damaged, and so I'm going to replace that as well. So Mandy's going to come over and do those things for us. So moving down into my regular payments, I did not have any regular payments come out this week with the exception of my P.O. box. I did have to pay for my 6 months P.O. box at $40, and I went ahead and did that on Wednesday. Tuesday of this week, I had $8.70 at the grocery store, and I think it's because I didn't have any cash on me at the time, but it was a super doubles. So I went ahead and got those deals because I was out at the moment at that time. Down to my personal care expenses. Okay, for the house, I needed to buy a couple things. I can't remember what exactly I did buy, but $11.89 and $38.05 at Walmart, and those were for house things. So a couple miscellaneous things, like for next week, you may see in there where I had to buy the mailbox. The new mailbox was like $35, and then I had to get the numbers for the mailbox. I needed some light bulbs, some daylight light bulbs. That was one of the things that I needed to buy. Just a couple little miscellaneous things that I was trying to take care of that just pop up on you that you don't really expect. And then as far as transportation, I had to put gas in my car twice. So I don't know why I put gas so close together, but I just put gas in my car twice. I'm not sure. Oh, I do. I know exactly what happened. I put gas in my car on Sunday, but on Monday, I ended up having to drive to South Carolina, which is about 2 hours from where I live, to meet my dad. And then I had to drive 2 hours back. So that meant I needed gas on Tuesday because everything I put in on Monday was gone because I had driven that far. And then I had to re-up my gas. That's what happened. I was like, why did I put gas 2 days, so close? But I had to drive to South Carolina and back in the same day. And so the next day, I just went ahead and put gas in the car, and we are square. So from the kids' deposit that came in this week, we did $22 in tithe. The deposit was $216 and some change. And then for blow money, there was $35 in blow money. Now, you don't see it on here because I actually counted it in last week's. But the kids had their taekwondo here. They had their workshop this week, but I had already pulled out the cash for that. And then they have a tournament that's coming up in August, and we have to pay for it by July 24th or 25th or something to get that discount. So I'll be probably within the next week, on week 3, figuring in taekwondo again because both the kids are going to tournament. And mom will actually not be going to this tournament, but they will ride up with their instructor because I have to be in South Carolina for a ministry engagement. So we just found out yesterday that it was on the same day, and I already had that engagement put down in my calendar. So the instructor is going to give them a ride. I'm just going to pay for their, I'm going to pay for the tournament when their dad sends more money, and that's going to be how it is. Also, from last week, I had an expense on here for my vehicle, which was I had put in $120 for a belt that I needed to get changed. Well, I found a coupon that was $10 off of $100 or more, and belts were included. So I actually was able to get $10 off, and I only paid $102.67. So all in total for week 2, I spent $299.35. That was what my total expenses were. So just right at $300. And we got everything done that we needed to get done. So going back to my budget sheet, everything that needed to be accounted for is being accounted for here. My health wage gym came out. So far at Taekwondo, I'm at $430 instead of $325. I did go ahead and pay for the P.O. box. Groceries, I'm a little bit over, about $40 over. Miscellaneous house, we've just had some expenses this month for the house, and I am not sure why, but we've just had some. Let me go back and look real fast. Yeah, in week 1, we just took a hit on some miscellaneous things here for the house. We took a huge hit in there with some things that just needed to be taken care of. I guess this was for the exterminator. Then another $80. I don't remember what these other small things were for. Like I said, that's why I need to make some notes. And then one of my subscribers was telling me that I could write notes in here, but I don't see where I can write notes. So let me see if I can go back to my file tab and unprotect my week 1 to see if it will let me right click to put a note. Oh, now it will. I had to unprotect the sheet, And then I could actually write a note here to myself, but I'm going to actually come over here and insert a comment. And I'm going to say that was for the exterminator. And so now, if I want to know what I did, all I have to do is just put my little mouse over top of this red arrow here, and it will tell me exactly what it was that I did. So if you want to be able to do that, you have to go into your File tab and then unprotect the sheet, right? Where it says Protect Workbook, you unprotect whatever sheet it is you want to write on. So I've unprotected weeks 1, week 2, and as well as the personal budget sheet. So now I can go back to any of those, and I could actually make myself a note. Like for here, I do want to insert a comment, and I want to say 216.46 was from June, or I can just say that was a June payment that posted July 1st. Then I'll know that technically that number should not be $649. It should be less than that. And I could also, if I wanted to, you know, update this note. Well, I could probably put another note there if I wanted to edit my comment. And then I could actually put in July, whatever date. So let me say July 4th. I could say deposit for, you know, 216.46. If I wanted to, like sometimes I need to make sure that I write down when monies come in. So it's good to know that I can put that comment in for myself and just have that. That wasn't a true statement there, but I just wanted to put that in to make that note. And so again, if I wanted to insert a comment like here, I would just say Aunt sent money for utilities and water bill. And then I have that, and I'll know, you know, what actually took place there. So honestly, if I'm looking at this note, I know to subtract that number from this number, and that would give me the accurate number of what should be there. I could, even if I wanted to, here or here, I could say this was a, you know, up $100 from last month. So I'm going to start utilizing that feature a little more. Thank you so much to the subscriber who mentioned that to me, because I wasn't aware. And it's just because that sheet is protected. So I could also do here, you know, that I'm paying for the kids a workshop, plus they had to do parents' night out. So if I want to know all the things that are associated with that payment or that number, the insert the comment is huge for me there. So anyway, let's look at what is remaining. Okay, so after all has been said, we have now spent $2,637.63. This is what is left in the account, or left according to this budget sheet. So I am going on a work trip. I do have to have meals because I'm keto and I can't just eat anything. But the hotel we're going to doesn't have, you know, there's no continental breakfast or anything like that. All meals are on our own. So I'm actually going to have to go out and buy some things that I can take with me. I'm actually going to get some stuff out of my fridge and freezers and pantries and take the things that we have here already. But if I needed to do any spending, or if I need any gas before I get back, then of course this money is here, and I still do have to get some gas. So right now I've gotten, you know, I budgeted $120 for gas. I've spent $52.02. So I still have some monies in here for gas. And yeah, that's how it's going to work. So for right now, we're really good as far as making sure everything is paid, and this is what is left. So a couple wins for me this week was definitely finding out how to put that comment there, which works out so well. We did not have a lot of spending in week 2 versus week 1, when my total spent was over $2,000. But remember, in week 1, I pay all of my bills, as many of them except my cell phone bill. So week 2, $299.35. The kids and I are still doing good. And that is just how it is going to be. So anywho, there it is, week 2 update for July, the month of July. I'll go in and put a few more notes in here so I'll know what I did and why I did it. If you have any questions about our budget sheet, please feel free to let me know, and I will be happy to explain to you as best as I can why we did what we did. This also tells me, if I go down to this bottom part, this blow money, because I know somebody's going to assume I went to the Goodwill. I did not go to Goodwill. I am a member of a professional organization. Last year, I set up a automatic debit for my dues, and they would take it out for 3 months, 35, 35, 35, however much it was going to be, 35 for 3 or 4 months. Well, I only did it for last year, but it auto renewed this year. So when I was checking my accounts, that money came out, and I had not authorized it for this year, but I guess it was an auto renew, and I didn't realize that when I did it last year. So I had to account for that in my budget. So I was like, oh my goodness, I'm glad there was money in there. So I'm going to write that in, even though I had not intended for that to happen. It was just an auto renew on their part. I did not realize that I had to cancel the auto renew, but my dues are coming due anyway, and I was going to renew them when I go to my business trip this week anyhow. So it's already done. Thank God there was money in the account to account for it, and I'll just remember next year that will auto renew itself. So that'll be July, August, and September, and I think October as well. So 4 months, and now I'll be aware in the next months coming up. The only other thing I want to say is, if you're using this sheet or any budget sheet, I know one of the things that trips me up sometimes is, especially if I have to use my debit card and I'm not using cash, is to reconcile, like go back and do your reconciliation quickly, because that's why I haven't always done the budget updates, is because I just forget what was I spending, what expense was this, what category was this, and I just forget. And so what I do is I don't follow through on tracking everything, but I'm making that conscious effort. So every time I get a receipt, then I'm going to go back and budget in, what I spent or what I didn't spend. So that's just a helpful tip for any of us trying to use this sheet. Again, remember, your budget is your budget. Things can be flexible and move around according to how you need them to move around. So only you can manage your money. I didn't intend for my toilets to start acting up this week, but I have my emergency fund. And so I have an emergency to get those toilets fixed. And so my person is going to come over and fix them. Also with my mailbox, it is starting to lean over a little bit. And I don't want my mail person not to be able to deliver mail. So I had to get a new mailbox. One of my little neighbor was out, and his basketball goal was close to my mailbox, and he shot the ball. It landed on my mailbox, and it broke my mailbox off. Well, they tried to fix it, and didn't tell me about it until I realized that it had fallen off again. And so instead of me causing a big stink with the neighbors, I'm just replacing it. I'm not about that life. I'm not going to go over and argue with them. They were supposed to replace it. It hadn't been replaced yet, and that's been several weeks ago. So once they see the new mailbox, maybe they'll say, oh, Miss Shakima, can you tell me how much you paid, and I'll reimburse you because I didn't get it fixed. So I'm just going to fix it and move on with life. But anywho, things come up, and you have to pay for what you have to pay for. Budget. Put extra money in your emergency fund if you can, or have a separate household fund if that's something that you can have. But just make allowances for things that have to happen. So anyway, that's our week 2 budget update. We hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, leave us a comment. Thank you so much for stopping by. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye now.